Hey everybody, how we doing out there? Great to see you. Friday night, 6 p.m. Awesome to have all of you here. And we got a great show today. We're going to get it going and rock and roll here. So glad you guys are here. All right, so let me know if you guys can hear me okay. If everything sounds good, is looking good. And we will get it going. What's going on, Lisa? How you doing, Mark? Lady Ann? Good to have all of you here. And everybody else watching that I cannot see. Great to have you. So today we got a really good show. We're going to be talking about some cool stuff. We're going to talk about Jensen Huang, the CEO for NVIDIA, if I said his name correctly. And we are going to talk about the AI revolution a bit as well, too. And we're going to take a look at the leadership lessons we can take away from him, the success strategies, and his personal philosophy. This is a guy who, started off as a dishwasher at Denny's and actually more or less co-founded his company at Denny's. And as he said before in some of his interviews, if he can learn how to do this, anyone can learn how to do this. Okay, maybe not so much the gaming chips and NVIDIA AI technology, but being a leader, being a CEO, all those things. So we got a great show. We are going to cover the latest news headlines as well too that are affecting you. We're going to check out the operating environment that we are operating in, as we always do, and what kind of strategies we need to use to succeed in this current operating environment we find ourselves in, the economy, the political situation, international relations, all those things. And of course, we're going to do leadership lessons of South Park, followed by some of the craziest, funniest videos I can find to send you off on your way for the weekend with a boost and a good laugh, get our energy high before we go. All right, everyone, hold on tight. Great to have you here Friday night, 6 p.m., we are going to kick it. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you guys all being here, letting me do what I love. Let's get on with it, okay? The $5 trillion man in the leather jacket. So what if I told you the entire AI revolution, everything from ChatGPT to autonomous cars to the future of drug discovery and all the medical breakthroughs that are coming is almost entirely dependent upon one man? Okay, this is the man who founded his company at Denny's, like I said. He's a man who also nearly went bankrupt. And I know a lot of people out there are having some tough financial times. Trust me, I know it. He's a man today who leads a $5 trillion company. Makes him one of the richest men on the planet. I think probably actually second maybe to Elon Musk. We're going to get to in a minute, who just had a big deal come through for him. All right, I'm talking about Jensen Huang, and the company is NVIDIA, the gaming company turned AI company, okay, that was making graphic processing units, the GPUs. And you're probably thinking of NVIDIA as a gaming company, a gaming chip company, right? And that's like actually calling Amazon a bookstore, more or less. And we're going to find out why. But the real story here is not just about computer chips. It's about a series of bet the entire company decisions that were so insane, so counterintuitive, and so long-term that Wall Street thought this guy was a fool. Okay, they thought he was a fool. He's making big bets the whole time. Until he became the man who's basically handing out the picks and the shovels for the new gold rush, which is AI. All right, not even let alone cryptocurrency and all that. So let's talk about the story of how he built something for the future and the painful lessons of patience, conviction, and building something nobody is asking for. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into that. So hold on tight. Here we go. We are going to go ahead and take a look at this first video. All right. And everybody let me know if you have any problems seeing this. And let's do it.
Technology companies in the world, and it was all because of video games.
I've heard you say that GPUs were a time machine.
Yeah.
Could you tell me more about what you...
Okay, so really quickly, what I want to do is I want to explain what a GPU is versus CPU. So we're going to get an idea, an introduction really quickly into what, why he thinks, how he came up with the idea of thinking that this was such a powerful thing, okay? And he's going to talk about the idea of the GPU and AI and all these things being a time machine, okay? So really this is more about giving you an idea about the product, the service in the company if you're not familiar with it, okay? And then we'll get really into his philosophy, his background, things like that. Here we go.
You meant by that?
Got NVIDIA to become one of the most important technology companies in the world, and it was all because of video games.
I've heard you say that GPUs were a time machine.
Yeah.
Could you tell me more about what you meant by that?
A GPU is like a time machine because it lets you see the future sooner. One of the most amazing things anybody's ever said to me was a quantum chemistry scientist. He said, Jensen, because of NVIDIA's work, I can do my life's work in my lifetime. That's time travel. He was able to do something that was beyond his lifetime, within his lifetime. And that's because we make applications run so much faster. And so you get to see the future. And so when you're doing weather prediction, for example, you're seeing the future. When you're doing a simulation, a virtual city with virtual traffic, and we're simulating our self-driving car through that virtual city, we're doing time travel.
So parallel processing takes off in gaming.
All right, so we won't go too deep into parallel and series processing and all those things. But just as was demonstrated in another video I saw, okay, very interesting. There were a group of scientists doing a painting, okay, making a painting with a paintball gun attached to a computer. And so the paintball gun would fire one paint shot at a time to make this painting, okay? And so what they said AI is like, and they actually said what the GPUs from NVIDIA is like having, they had basically 1,000 paintball guns all coordinated together, wrapped into one. It was a massive block. And on a count of 3, they fired all the paintballs, 1,000 paintballs, and they painted the Mona Lisa, okay, in paintballs. And they were saying this is the difference between where we were like in the days of Atari, things like that, or even before the 2000s, before NVIDIA came about. And I think actually NVIDIA was founded in 1993, I think. But before this type of processing, the GPUs came out, this type of parallel processing, it was like you had a serial process. And serial means that they're in line, right? They're in a series, in a line, like if you look at stepping stones, okay? Parallel means you can have a series of the stepping stones all lined up together and stacked, getting multiple mathematical computations, tasks done all at the same time, which is why when they pulled the trigger once on that massive paintball gun with 1,000 paintballs, it painted the Mona Lisa in one shot, okay? So pretty cool stuff. Let's watch this next one as well too. We're going to listen a little more from him on his philosophy here in this case. All right. In this case, he's basically explaining, you'll see in a minute, about resilience and about high expectations.
One of my great advantages is that I have very low expectations. and I mean that. Most of the Stanford graduates have very high expectations. You deserve to have high expectations because you came from a great school. You were very successful. You're top of your class. Obviously, you were able to pay for tuition. And then you're graduating from one of the finest institutions on the planet. You're surrounded by other kids that are just incredible. You naturally have very high expectations. People with very high expectations have very low resilience.
All right, everybody hear that? I found that was really, really interesting. People with very high expectations have very low resilience. Now, there's a whole balancing act to do there, right? I don't want you to be like, well, I have no expectations. I have no goals, therefore no expectations. Therefore I can't fail. How many jokes have I heard? I've seen it in the chat. Ben, I have no goals, therefore I can never fail. When you're trying to do anything, you can never fail. It's a great feeling, right? So I think his idea is a little different. All right, his idea, and he'll explain it some more, but of having low expectations and just doing the work. Okay, like Elon Musk said the same thing, doing the work. It's interesting because they have the same philosophy of first principles thinking as well too. Okay, let's hear some more of what he's saying here and get a good idea of it.
It's incredible. You naturally have very high expectations. People with very high expectations have very low resilience. And unfortunately, resilience matters in success. I don't know how to teach it to you except for I hope suffering happens to you.
Damn, I hope suffering happens to you. Another powerful little one-liner. I'm sure was he a Marine? Can anybody look and see? Was he a Marine at some point? I feel like he was like a Marine drill instructor. I hope suffering happens to you. That's awesome. But his point is that, okay, and again, it says in the Bible, right? Suffering leads to endurance, endurance leads to character, and character will lead to your destiny. And he's saying that resilience matters much more, than anything else towards your success. And oftentimes what I've found and what I talk about a lot with people that I work with is that, you want to give everything you have, give it total, all in, 100% effort, everything you got for a prolonged period of time. But every day you're giving the effort, you have to detach from the results. Give it the best quality, trying to accomplish a specific task to the standard of the task, right? You're looking for that great quality, but you can't get so attached to the results that you become emotional, distraught, upset. You start having negative thinking patterns. He is echoing exactly what I say to people, but in a much more succinct way, okay? By saying that people with high expectations often have low resilience, okay? Because when they have high expectations, and also, I want to say this as an entrepreneur, also, when you have such high expectations, it's attached to your personal identity. It's attached to your self-esteem, okay? So this is attached to your personal identity. It's attached to your self-esteem, and therefore you may actually play it more safe. When you have such high expectations, sometimes you play it safe because you don't truly know what your limit is. And so as long as your high expectations are met, you don't know if you can maybe go beyond that too. Okay? So there are a lot of things to consider in there. And I'm not saying not to set big goals and not to have big aspirations and big dreams and big visions. You need that. But I think for me personally, how I interpret that about the high expectations is that we beat ourselves up. We beat ourselves up by focusing so much on the outcome, so much on what it feels like to grab the brass ring, so much on the material wealth, so much on the change in lifestyle, instead of getting to work and doing it over and 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 over until you friggin' get it right and you master it. That's when mastery happens, okay? And that's when you have real success. That's what he's saying. In my opinion, this is exactly what he's saying, okay? And so it's my show, my channel, so I'd say that is what he's saying right there, all right? Let's listen to the rest of that. I think it's very valuable.
And I was fortunate that I grew up. Resilience matters in success. I don't know how to teach it to you except for I hope suffering happens to you. And I was fortunate that I grew up with my parents providing a condition for us to be successful on the one hand, but there were plenty of opportunities for setbacks and suffering. And to this day, I use the phrase pain and suffering inside our company with great glee. And the reason, and I mean that. Boy, this is going to cause a lot of pain and suffering. And I mean that in a happy way, because you want to train, you want to refine the character of your company.
All right, so again, really when he's talking about, pain and suffering in a happy way, because when you're in the hard time, when you're in the trench, okay, when you're passing through the abyss, guess what? That's a phase on the success path. If you don't ever go into the abyss and you don't hit those hard times, okay, I guarantee you're not going to have success right around the corner. That's why he's saying to rejoice in these hard times, to say, okay, this is going to cause some pain and suffering. This is going to be hard, okay? Because in that pain and suffering, you know what's going to happen. You went down to the valley. You're in the abyss. You're down in the valley. And you're suffering and you're feeling it and it's hurting, okay? But you know you've got to go through hell to get to heaven. You've got to sacrifice to get success. There is no success without sacrifice. There is no pain and there is no growth without pain and discomfort, okay? The learning curve, the pain, the long nights, all those things like that. But if you know on the other side of all that, we don't know exactly when, but we have to go through it, great things will happen. The becoming process occurs. We become something greater than we already are. Then that's why he's saying to approach it and to look at it with such glee, okay? 100%. What's going on, Brady? How you doing, man? Lady Ann, how are you? Steve, what's up, brother? Good to have you here. Hey, Becky. What's up, Nick? How you doing, man? Good to have you here. Yeah, he is. He has a great commitment to the leather jacket, for sure. I saw another interview about that, too. It's pretty funny. I guess his wife bought it for him, and it's the only thing that doesn't itch him, so he wears it always. Okay, let's keep going here.
You want greatness out of them. And greatness is not intelligence. Greatness comes from character, and character is informed out of smart people. Greatness out of them. You want to refine the character of your company. You want greatness out of them. And greatness is not intelligence. Greatness comes from character, and character is informed out of smart people. It's formed out of people who suffered.
Okay, everybody hear that? You want greatness out of them. Greatness is not formed out of smart people. Greatness is formed out of people who have suffered. And if you want to be great, you got to be good at getting through suffering. Who can take the most pain? Who can suffer the most? Who can get through the most stress? That's one of the things about entrepreneurship too, is that you probably have heard this a lot. You're in business for yourself. And a lot of the things is that, it's the uncertainty that kills people. The uncertainty people can't deal with. It's the uncertainty, the hard times. It's the stress, all these things like that. And as I've heard it before many times, whoever can suffer and take the most pain is the one who's going to, probably maybe not have the most success, but the greatest chance at success, because you stick around until you figure it out. All right. So again, like I said before, suffering leads to endurance, endurance leads to character, and character will lead to your destiny, which is, as Jensen's saying here, is greatness. Let's keep going.
And so that's it. And so if I could wish upon you, I don't know how to do it. For all of you Stanford students, I wish upon you ample doses of pain and suffering.
I've seen plenty of power.
I wish upon all of you ample doses of pain and suffering, because that's the pathway. That's the way. That's the pathway to greatness, to success. That's what it takes. Okay, everybody? And that's what we have to know. All right. So we watched some of that. We understand his philosophy. Like I said, he could have been a Marine Corps drill instructor. Hey, Jasmine, how you doing? Good to have you here. He could have been a Marine Corps drill instructor with that attitude. Could have been a Marine, for sure. Let's talk a little bit of the fact and figures of NVIDIA. Let's talk a little bit about this, okay? These are some holy crap stats, okay? NVIDIA recently surpassed 5 trillion as of late 2025, okay, around October timeframe. Market share controls 90% of the market for AI accelerator chips. This isn't really a market share. It's a monopoly built on his foresight, okay? Previously, he had the 95% of the market in China until, we had the recent trade issues with China, and they can no longer sell their chips to China, okay? Interestingly enough, a quick aside there, I saw another interview while I was doing the research for this that they were asking him, how is China in AI compared to us? He said, we are not that far ahead of them, actually. He said, we're further ahead in our models, in our AI models. We're further ahead in our chips. He said, but in the energy infrastructure, they are way ahead of us, okay? And the energy it takes to actually build good AI, because they need huge data farms, huge energy surplus to be able to, create all these different processing units, things like that. And he also did credit President Trump with being the reason we're going to leapfrog ahead in technology and technological development, because he's supporting all the infrastructure development for AI development, things like that. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing at the strategic level. Okay, the origins of NVIDIA. NVIDIA was co-founded in 1993 with a vision for graphics processing and then for video games afterwards. His personal wealth, Jensen's 3.5% stake in the company that he's never left, he still owns it, makes him one of the world's wealthiest individuals with a net worth of over $170 billion, okay? So again, if you want to listen to him for his leadership, listen to him for his foresight, listen to him for his mental toughness, that's one of the reasons I chose to bring him to the show for all of you, okay? Because again, it's hard to identify with someone who's invented something, and they patented some great technology, just because they have some crazy skill set or some crazy knowledge or they're a genius. But it's not that hard to identify with someone who's talking about, being hard, right? Being hard, being mentally tough and going through pain and suffering, and greatness comes from character development, which comes from suffering, going through hard things. Okay? And I think everybody in the audience here, that will resonate with us, because this human experience, we're all going to have ample amounts of pain and suffering. And I'm going to tell you, to your detriment, if you're always avoiding pain and suffering, and you see the abyss you have to go through in order to become the person you want to be, if you're always avoiding pain and suffering, it's going to make you weaker. Okay? It's going to make you weaker. And you can grow into it. You can have you can grow your tolerance for pain and suffering, and therefore grow your character, grow your greatness. Right? This could be a T-shirt. Grow your greatness. Grow your greatness, according to what Jensen Huang is saying. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Now, he had a big bet. We talked about this inside the title of this video, but his big bet that looked like a failure initially. Most CEOs out there they're winning, they're playing the game to win the current game. Okay, they're playing to win the current game. Jensen Huang he's playing to invent the next game, okay? He's not even worried about the current game. That's what he was doing. In the mid 2000s, NVIDIA was the king of gaming, okay? They made the best GPUs, the best graphic processing units. That's what makes remember how all of a sudden, everybody remember out there, put it in the chat if you remember this, how all of a sudden video games went from, kind of basic to all of a sudden like really looking good. Like Call of Duty got really good. All these games like, Grand Theft Auto all got really good. Computer games, video games, and just got really, high graphics, almost like cinematic, things like that. That's because of his company, because of NVIDIA, okay? When I first learned about them and actually first invested in them was back in those days, okay? That was the business for him. But then Jensen saw something else. He saw that the parallel processing that we talked about earlier, right? Series processing was the one paintball gun painting the picture. Parallel processing was having, hundreds, if not 1,000 of paintball guns all stacked and grouped together under computer direction, firing at the same time. It just speeds everything along so much. That's why he calls it a time machine, okay? Yeah, and the flight simulators, exactly, Steve, exactly. And so he saw the parallel processing made the graphics look beautiful, could also be used to solve many complex math problems, okay? So the bold decision he had was this thing called CUDA. It was a big CUDA bet. He made his biggest bet. He instructed his engineers to create CUDA, the software platform, and it was the key. He wasn't just selling, hardware anymore, the chips. He was creating a big ecosystem that he would use for gaming, but also later for training AI, which didn't really happen until around 2012. They started seeing this happen. Let's watch this next video, okay? We're going to take a little bit more look at his background and just where does this guy come from? How does he think of these things, okay? Who is he? We're going to learn a little bit more about him right now. Here we go.
The most extraordinary thing, Bill, that a normal dishwasher busboy could grow up to be this. There's no magic. It's just 61 years of hard work every single day. I don't think there's anything more than that.
Do something that the world's never done before. Let's hope that it's insanely hard to do. The reason why you choose something insanely hard to do, by the way, so that you have lots of time to go learn it. If something is insanely easy to do, like tic-tac-toe, I wouldn't, fuss over it. And the reason for that, obviously, is highly competitive. And so you got to choose something that's incredibly hard to do. And that thing that's hard to do discourages a whole bunch of other, all by itself, because the person who's willing to suffer the longest wins. And so we...
All right, everybody hear that? Again, the same refrain again for character, okay? Greatness comes from character, which comes from his suffering. Who can suffer the most? Who can take the most pain? All these things like that. That's what he's talking about. And I thought it was interesting, too, just to hear him say in this video where he's talking about, so don't go looking for something easy right away. Look for something hard, so it takes you lots of time to learn it, and therefore you're also going to eliminate most of the competition because most people don't want to go into something hard, okay? So, even no matter where you're at in life, I want to say this, and I know he's talking more probably for some younger people in college age, in their 20s, things like that, but I'm saying any age you are right now, again, longevity is changing because of AI. Medical breakthroughs, things like that. We're going to live longer, all those things like that. You can learn faster. You can learn more from AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you want to use than ever before. And so if you're setting your sights on making a difference in your life and having a career breakthrough, starting a new business, all these things, why not choose something that's not too easy, okay? And I'm telling you, business is not that easy in the first place, okay? So if you go down that path, you're definitely going to have your work cut out for you, but you can do it. You can do it. And he's saying just by virtue of it being hard, this becomes your competitive moat. This becomes the place that's going to reduce the competition right away. I mean, and if you're a fitness competitor, if you're an athlete, if you're a business person, if you're a career person, okay, if you're in a company, working for a company, go get that certification other people don't want to get. Learn that specialized knowledge other people don't want to learn, okay? Become really good at that hard thing that other people are like, oh man, I want to learn that. But get really good at it. Master it. That makes you indispensable. So no matter where you're at, I mean, you don't have to be starting NVIDIA like this guy. You don't have to learn how to, launch rockets like Elon Musk. You don't have to, make self-driving cars and all these things like that. But take that same philosophy for your own life and look at, where can I create a competitive moat? And like we talked about last week with Tim Burton, where can I bring my unique personal genius, my unique self, be myself, okay, stay true to myself, being authentic, while doing hard things and learning hard things and becoming more skilled and better at something that other people think is really difficult? Where can I do that? That will create a competitive moat for me out in the marketplace, okay, and in life. It'll make me more valuable. Not to mention the self-esteem you're going to experience by suffering, long suffering, okay? By long suffering, getting very good at going through hardship, keeping promises to yourselves over and over again. You're going to have high self-esteem, high self-trust, high self-belief. You're going to bet bigger bets on yourself, okay? Can you guys see the accumulation of all this? Can you see how this all accumulates and comes together? It gives you that. That's what confidence is to me. Keeping lots of promises to yourself, stepping through fear, stepping through hardship, struggling over and over and over again, never giving up, having faith, even when you feel whooped and you feel beaten down, okay? All this stuff matters. Let's keep going. Let's keep watching.
Choose things that are incredibly hard to do. And you've heard me say a whole bunch of other, all by itself, because the person who's willing to suffer the longest wins. And so we choose things that are incredibly hard to do. And you've heard me say pain and suffering a lot. And it's actually a positive attribute. People who can suffer are ultimately the ones that are the most successful. Number one. Number two, you should choose something that somehow you're destined to do. Either a set of qualities about your personality or your expertise or the people you're surrounded by, your scale, whatever your perspective, whatever you're somehow destined to do. And then number three, you better love working on that thing so much, because unless so, the pain and suffering is too great.
So the thing is, when you want to build something great, it's not easy to do. And when you're doing something that's not easy to do, you're not always enjoying it. I don't love every day of my job. I don't think every day brings me joy, nor does joy have to be the definition of a good day. And every day I'm not happy. Every year I'm not happy about the company. But I love the company every single second.
All right, that's huge, okay? I talk about this a lot with people. Maybe you guys have heard me say it before, but people will ask questions like, are you happy? Are you happy? I'm going to tell you, I think happiness is fleeting. I think it's fleeting. I think there's real joy. There's inner peace. There's deep satisfaction. There's, self-trust, confidence, things like that. I think to me, I guess all of those things together to me are happiness. If you have inner peace, you have, the satisfaction of knowing that you exhausted yourself in a worthy cause. You have, you have that joy, that sense of you're making a difference. And even if it's in just your immediate circle, it doesn't mean for a bigger cause even. It could be just for your family, your loved ones, your friends. You've done things that you didn't think you could do before. You broke through barriers that maybe they weren't that hard for other people, but for you it was a big challenge. We all have something, that's not easy. Okay. So I think that's something to keep in mind. Okay. And as he's saying, you better damn well be, very curious and very interested in what you're going after and what you're studying and what you're working on. Okay. What you're trying to grow. Otherwise, if you're not, you're going to get knocked out of the game because it's going to require more effort than you think. It's going to require more time than you think. All those things like that. Okay. All right. Let's keep going here. Watch a little bit more of this.
And so I think that what people misunderstand is somehow the best jobs are the one that brings you happiness all the time. I don't think that that's right. You have to suffer, you have to struggle, you have to endeavor, you have to do those hard things and work through it in order to really appreciate what you've done. And there are no such thing that are great that was easy to do.
All right, I'm going to rewind that because that's so motivating. Honestly, that is such a freaking great quote. It's so awesome. Let's listen to that again, okay? Let's hear it.
I don't think that that's right. So I think that what people misunderstand is somehow the best jobs are the one that brings you happiness all the time. I don't think that that's right. You have to suffer, you have to struggle, You have to endeavor. You have to do those hard things and work through it in order to really appreciate what you've done. And there are no such thing that are great that was easy to do.
And damn, I'll tell you what, that feels so good when you have worked through the hard problems. Okay, when you've worked through the hard problems and you have overcome the challenges, that feels so amazing. It feels great, okay? And that's his point, is that you're not always going to be happy all the time in these jobs. The greatest jobs aren't the ones that are just making you happy and feeling good and they're easy. The greatest jobs are the ones where, you know, you're very interested, very curious. You have a passion for it. You know, there's a love for it, okay? But it doesn't mean you're happy all the time. It doesn't mean it's easy, but you struggle through, push through, and then the satisfaction on the other side of that, knowing that you went through more than you thought you could and you suffered for it, you struggled for it, you earned it. Damn, that's a great feeling. I can remember so many times in the Marines like that, right? So many times, no matter if it was in the Marine Infantry, Marine Force Recon, Marine Raiders, whatever it was, as a leader, okay? And even the times that were, you know, not in combat, but in training time, pushing the envelope on training, you know, pushing our capabilities. And the greatest satisfaction came after the very hardest things, the very hardest, most difficult things, for sure. That's right. That's right. All of you guys out there, I hear what you're saying. That's right. So that's a great little video from him. Let me see. I'm going to hit the chat really quick, see what we got here. Yeah, everyone should spend a good summer washing dishes, Steve. You're right about that. Definitely. Becky, Gwyneth Paltrow and Goop. Okay, I'll have to look into it. I don't know. You know it, Jasmine. Preaching away right now. All right, we'll watch a little bit more because that's pretty good. We're going to watch just a little bit more of this, and then we'll drive on.
And so by definition, I would say, therefore, I wish upon you greatness, which by my way of saying it, I wish upon you plenty of pain and suffering. And so
One of my great advantages is that I have very low expectations, and I mean that. Most of the Stanford.
Okay, we talked about that already. Low expectations, but great resilience. Okay, and then he also talked about, I wish upon all of you greatness, and by saying that, I wish upon all of you great pain and suffering. Okay, and a Chinese curse actually is, may you live in interesting times. So that's pretty funny right there. I think he's talking about some of that. Okay, so we're getting to see a little bit about his personal philosophy. Put in the chat if you have any questions on that or any comments. And we talked about him developing the software platform CUDA. This was his big bet. Okay, this was the big bet that nobody wanted, nobody thought they needed. Interestingly enough, Steve Jobs had done the same thing when he said, I presented the iPhone to the market not because of what the market demanded, but because I knew what the market needed. Okay, he built the road before the cars were invented, that type of thing. Okay, so here's the risk with CUDA, building the software platform. It was corporate insanity. Wall Street hated it. He was spending billions of dollars on R&D for a market that didn't exist. Okay, he did this for years, and for years, almost no one used it. It was a ghost town, totally. So I want you to think about that pressure. Like I said, whoever can suffer the most, whoever can take the most uncertainty is the one who's gonna win. Okay, your investors are furious. Your stock is flat. You're burning billions on a hobby project. Okay, as an entrepreneur myself, someone in business, you know the fine balance of balancing out the revenue you have coming in versus R&D versus advertising, all those things like that. If you take on a pet project that you think is going to work, and you're just, maybe you took out a loan or you're getting investors and you're burning this money on this thing, and they see their money being wasted, or you watch your money going down, but you're not sure if it's going to work, okay? It's really, really tough on your psyche, okay? This is the struggle phase, 100%, where 99% of leaders would have caved, okay? But Jensen didn't. So after 10 years of doing this and developing his CUDA software platform, there was the AI explosion. So for 6 years, this CUDA platform looked like a total failure, okay? Then in 2012, there was a breakthrough in AI. Researchers discovered that Jensen's useless CUDA platform, it was a perfect tool for training deep learning models, for training AI, okay? It was 10, 20, or 50 times faster than anything else out there. suddenly this gaming company, right, a gaming chip company, was the only company in town on Earth that built engines to train AI. Okay? So what did that mean? It meant that when ChatGPT launched, what did it run on? It ran on tens of thousands of NVIDIA GPUs, tens of thousands of NVIDIA chips. Okay? That's what it meant. So he didn't just get lucky. He didn't predict the AI boom. He built the road 10 years before anyone knew they needed to take the trip on AI. Okay? So that's where he's at. So when we're talking about making bold moves, this is what he's doing. However, as we've seen, he's someone that likes to, like he said, pick a big, impossible project and work on hard things and do hard things. Like he said, pain and suffering will lead to greatness. They don't pick projects that any other computer can do, that any other company can do. They pick things other people can't do, won't do, or it's too hard. All right? So same thing, apply that in your own life. And again, we're trying to profile these different leaders from different areas and industries, big leaders in industries that have had a lot of success, and to see what lessons can we put into our own lives. How can we use what, someone like Damon John, someone like Tim Burton, someone like Jensen Huang, what they've said and what they've done, what their strategies are. How can you implement that in your own life? All right, let's keep on going here. Let's watch another video from him right now.
That's the best practice. It's not conventional.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about his leadership style, and how he leads his company. Let's check this out. It's interesting because he actually has 60 direct reports. I've led a big organization before, okay? 60 direct reports is a lot. I think I was writing probably direct reports. I was probably writing maybe 10 direct reports, okay? And then maybe at the biggest time, I wrote maybe like 20, 25, something like that, okay? But 60 direct reports is a lot. And it's interesting, too. He doesn't do one-on-one meetings. All right, let's watch. He's being interviewed right now by the CEO of Stripe, the financial technology company Stripe. He's being interviewed by him.
But I am certain it's the best practice. And by the end of this, I'm going to convince all of you to have 60 people on your direct reports.
The floor is yours.
The reason, first of all, the reason is because the layer of hierarchy in your company really matters. Information really matters. I believe that your contribution to the work should not be based on the privileged access to information. I don't do one-on-ones, and my staff is quite large, and almost everything that I say to everybody all at the same time. And the reason for that is because I don't really believe there's any information that I operate on that somehow only one or two people should hear about.
Okay, so this is really interesting practice. I've had commanders that I've worked with before who have done this, okay, who are commanding major organizations. General Nagata from Special Operations Command was one of them. Great commander, great general. Army Special Forces commander, but in SOCOM, everyone's, purple, everyone's mixed together, a lot of joint action operations. But he did something where he would CC every single person that was a commander or not a direct report, but that was a commander within his organization. So he'd have probably 30 of us on an email, okay? And he'd share all his emails. He would just, CC us on every interaction. And he said he wanted to build the cumulative contextual awareness, the cumulative knowledge of his command, so that we would move really quickly through implicit communication. Okay, so super interesting. And Jensen's saying the same thing, that instead of having one-on-one meetings where he's telling people one thing at a time, he gets everyone together, his 60 reports. So he's creating like that, that hive mind, right? The hive mindset. So what he shares on one person, he shares with another. Interestingly enough, and I don't know if we'll cover it in one of the videos, but he also believes in talking publicly about failure. Okay, so everyone can learn the lessons. And I don't think he's the type that he blasts people. I think it's just there's something that doesn't work out right, and if you're the one on the dime for it and you're responsible for it, he's gonna publicly discuss what happened with everyone else so they learn it too, so it doesn't happen again. And interestingly enough, though, too, here's why that works as a leader. Okay, as a leader, that really works because he's someone who doesn't he doesn't believe in firing people. He really doesn't believe in getting rid of people. Once he has them in there and he thinks they're worth bringing in, he believes in, quote unquote, torturing them to greatness and coaching them to greatness, because he believes that they all have greatness within them, and it's up to him as the leader to lead them where they're supposed to be. Okay. And so that's why, to me, that works when you do the public execution, so to speak, the public discussion of your failures. You know, they always say praise in public, reprimand in private. But I think because it works, because he's not the coercive leader that's going to lead with coercion, meaning he's going to, punish you in front of everybody. He's going to fire you if you get it wrong. He's going to help you to grow. And he believes that there's greatness within you. If you're on his team, if you got hired, then he's going to coach you up to greatness. And we'll talk about some of that some more in a minute. But let's keep going on this. And here's some more about his leadership style.
And the reason for that is because I don't really believe there's any information that I operate on that somehow only one or two people should hear about. And these are the challenges of the company, or this is the problem I'm trying to solve, or this is the direction we're trying to go into. These are the new endeavors. This isn't working. That's working well. And so all of this type of information, everybody should be able to hear. I love that everybody's working off of the same song sheet. I love that there is no privileged access to information. I love that we're able to all contribute to solving a problem. And when you have 60 people in a room, and oftentimes, well, my staff meetings are once every other week. It's all based on issues, whatever issues we have. Everybody's there working on it at the same time. Everybody heard the reasoning of the problem. Everybody heard the reasoning of the solution. Everybody heard everything. And so that empowers people. I believe that when you give everybody equal access to information, it empowers people. And so that's number one, empowering.
See, I think that's fantastic. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I really think that's fantastic. How many times, put it in the chat if this has happened to you, but how many times have you seen people who people are, they play I Have a Secret at work? How many of you have seen that before? Okay. You're watching this on the replay, add a comment afterwards for me and tell me, if you've seen this. The boss who plays I Have a Secret, the coworker who plays I Have a Secret. This is this protectionist attitude where you're trying to just advance yourself at work at the detriment to everybody else. And I understand it gets competitive, but at the top of the company he created an environment where they're sharing information, like you said, so everybody's on the same song sheet. So you play better together when there's trust and there's shared knowledge, and you create a team atmosphere with people are, trying to help each other, and the team's goals are the big goals, right? But this takes a special leader to establish that up front. And I'll tell you what, if you want to establish a culture like that, then it's going to take you being a strong leader doing it. And you also setting the standard of that's what is expected. Shared knowledge, teamwork. We're going to evaluate you. We're going to compensate you based on how you perform with the team, based on how you uphold this culture we're trying to establish. All those things like that matter a ton, okay? So very, very important. Let's listen a little bit more, and then we'll keep on going. A lot of good knowledge here. Again, I love doing these deep dives on someone like him, on Jensen Huang, because, we're seeing somebody who's built one of the most powerful companies in the world right now, and seeing how he did it, what his philosophy is, his leadership, all those things. Maybe we can take a page out of his book, right? That's the whole point. And again, the point of this podcast, the point of this channel is to upgrade your life, to give you the success strategies you need to achieve more, be more, do more, have more, live a better life, okay? Have more inner peace, more confidence, more clarity, all those things like that, okay? Be a better leader. All right, let's go.
Number two, if the CEO's direct staff is 60 people, the number of layers you've removed in a company is probably something like 7, depending on how it is.
Is it 60 at every layer, or only 60? As in, like, if I'm a director, if I'm one of the fortunate 60, do I also have 60 direct reports?
No.
Or, okay, so
I don't think that that's scalable downward, and the reason for that is because you need more and more supervision, depending on certain levels. And at the E-staff level, if you're so unfortunate to be serving on NVIDIA's E-staff, it's very unlikely you need a lot of managerial,
And so,
okay, so right there, what he's saying is that his direct reports are people that are pretty much elite performers, okay? These are people reporting right to him that are highly skilled, highly trained, in AI, in the GPUs, in NVIDIA's core tasks and core functions, okay? And then underneath them, it's more of a traditional hierarchical structure beneath them. But the flat structure is up at the top underneath him. But that's where he feels he needs as a leader to put his fingerprints all over people and have direct access to them and direct influence. And so again, this is something you can have for consideration in your own, when you build your own NVIDIA, but also just understanding that sharing information empowers people and making sure you don't play I have a secret. Because if people don't know, like the old saying goes, if they don't know, how can they help? Okay. And the old saying used to be, what do I know? Who have I told? Who else needs to know? Okay. He's taking care of that by just having a structure set up where he doesn't have to play that game. He just automatically, he's coaching, counseling everybody all the time. Those top 60 all the time. And, I go back to it again too. I mean, I know directly talking with people face to face, as I always heard in the Marines and was learned in the Marines, was this is the most effective way to make sure your message is received and understood is face to face in person, okay, with a brief back and then following up again and making them brief you back, following up with questions and doing in progress reviews, things like that, okay? So he's doing that at a very powerful high level, and let's keep on going. Okay. Let's talk about some of the things he did that ensured his success. Some other bold moves he made. He pivoted away from mobile. He tried to get into the smartphone industry in the market, and he failed. So instead of doubling down on a losing fight, this is really important to remember. This applies to all of us, okay? So instead of doubling down on a losing fight, he walked away from the entire mobile market, a multi-billion-dollar decision to focus 100% on high-performance computing, okay? He decided to focus on AI, data centers, all those things like that. He said no to a good opportunity. I'm sure he could have broken through to the smartphone market. He said no to this good opportunity in order to say yes to a massive, great generational idea instead, okay, with AI and his chips, okay? He bet on AI, XAI with Elon Musk. And the only regret he said about betting on XAI with Elon Musk is he didn't bet even more. Okay, so he's taking big bets the whole time. And I want you to really say for yourself and ask yourself, what big bets are you making on you? Okay? What big bets are you putting on yourself right now? And have you hedged for them? Have you taken a look at the risks involved? All right? Or are you chasing good money, bad money with good money? All right? Are you reinforcing failure in places where you need to cut loose, cut your losses and go? Okay, just like I said, he left the smartphone market. What is your smartphone market right now? Is there some place you need to just cut out and go? Cut your losses and move on to the next thing? If there is, you got to make decisions, okay? And this is why, leaders become leaders. This is why people become successful. They make big decisions like this. They take big risks, big bets. All right, let's watch this next video. Learn a little bit more here. A little bit more about his leadership style. I believe this is at Caltech, a commencement speech he gave. Pretty good stuff right here too. All right, let's go.
I begin each morning, I do every single morning exactly the same way. I begin each morning by doing my highest priority work first. I have a very clear priority list, and I start from the highest priority work first. Before I even get to work, my day is already a success. I've already completed my most important work and can dedicate my day to helping others. And when people apologize for interrupting me, I always say, I have plenty of time. And I do.
Okay, so a quick tidbit there, a quick snapshot. But the important thing there for me, the takeaway there from that video, what got me excited about showing that video to you guys, is the fact that you're getting to really see what is the difference maker. And right there, to me, is a eureka moment. If you wake up in the morning every day and you do your most important work first, okay, your life, I guarantee it, your life will be easier. Your life will be better. You'll have more inner peace. You'll get more done. You'll advance on so many levels, okay? But how many of us do that? How many of us get up, and start our most important work first? Or how many of us procrastinate, do this, do that? We say we got to, do this, that, the other thing. mess around, watch some TV, scroll through Instagram, scroll through YouTube, do all these things. Unless you're coming to my channel. If you're coming to my channel, then you're doing the right thing. Don't worry about this guy from NVIDIA, okay? You're doing the right thing. But if you're not on my channel or my pages, you're doing the wrong thing, okay? So, but how many of us can say that we're actually, so focused that we're doing the most important work first? I can guarantee you, because I've been doing this for a long time, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this for a long time, right? I've been 7 years full-time as an executive coach and strategist, okay? And before that, 23 years as a commissioned officer in the United States Marine Corps, lead, teach, motivate. That's my job. Leading people, teaching people, motivating people, leading operations, planning, all those things like that, right? But at the core, lead, teach, and motivate, okay? And operate and execute as well and all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you, I can guarantee you that most people, vast majority, do not do their most important work first. So if you take nothing else away from tonight, if you take nothing else in your time watching me and your time with me, remember this. Get up in the morning, okay? Plan your day a little bit, get a little planning in, and then get to work on your most important day, your most important work first, okay? Get your most important work done first thing in the morning. And the thing he said that I think is so important is he said, that way every single day, there's not a day that goes by that I didn't get something important done, okay? Pour yourself into it. If that means you got to wake up earlier, wake up earlier. If your most important thing is getting physically fit right now because you're not, and I'm going to tell you what, if your health isn't where it should be, that's got to be your most important thing. You better wake up first thing in the morning, get to the damn gym, get on the treadmill, you better work out, you better do all that stuff, okay? Hear me now, believe me later, like the old Saturday Night Live skit with Arnold, okay? Hear me now, believe me later. You're going to wish that you made that your first thing, okay? But if you have a big task to do, get after it on your most important work first thing in the morning. I'm going to tell you, I heard that again coming up in the Marine Corps. One of my commanders told me that when you're fresh in the morning and you wake up, go and do the hardest work you have to do. Your brain's fresh, you're well-trained, okay? And again, I brought him up before, but General George Smith, okay? He, 3-star general, pretty damn successful by all accounts, commanded at every level, commanded the Marine Expeditionary Force level, 40,000 Marines, maybe more. I might even have the numbers wrong there, 50,000 Marines, okay? Knows what the hell he's talking about. And he taught me that a long, long time ago. Do I always use it? Most of the time, sir, I do, in case you're listening. But it's a deliberate thing. You need to focus on it, use willpower to build that habit, to do the most important things first thing in the morning, okay? And I'm going to pass that on to you because I want to tell you, there's no magic to it. There's no magic to having more success. There is no magic to it, but there is hard work and there is a science, okay? And the science is get some sleep, wake up in the morning, get after it, get the work done every single damn day. Have a vision, have goals, get to work every single damn day. Get it done as soon as you can, as early as you can. Okay, it'll make a big, big difference. All right. What's going on, the Diamond Dog? Good to have you in here. Who else we got out there? David, what's happening? All right, everybody. Oh yeah, definitely. Stripe brother, the Stripe founder, Nick. He does some good content. Yeah, I found that one. That was pretty good. All right, let's keep on rolling here. Let's listen to what he has to say about passion. I thought this was really interesting too, okay? Let's check this out.
Phrase that said you should choose your career based on your passion. And usually people connect passion with happiness. Nothing there is wrong, but there's something missing. And the reason for that is because if you want to do great things, you want to build something great, it's not easy to do. And when you're doing something that's not easy to do, you're not always enjoying it. I don't love every day of my job. I don't think every day brings me joy, nor does joy have to be the definition of a good day. And every day I'm not happy. Every year I'm not happy about the company. But I love the company every single second. You have to suffer. You have to struggle. You have to endeavor. You have to do those hard things and work through it in order to really appreciate what you've done.
Hey, and we saw that before from one of his speeches earlier too, but that is so true. You have to suffer. You have to endure. it's not going to be worth it. Nothing worth doing is easy. Okay? Let's watch this next video. And I really like this one too. You're going to like this one, I think. And again, this is, when we're talking about him possibly having been a Marine, this fits right in there. Let's check this out.
Jobs. Look, I used to clean bathrooms, and now I'm the CEO of a company. I think you can learn it. I'm pretty certain you can learn this. And there are a lot of things in life that I believe you can learn, and you just have to be given the opportunity to learn it. I had the benefit of watching a lot of smart people do a lot of things. I'm surrounded by 60 people. They're doing smart things all the time, and they probably don't realize it, but I'm learning constantly from every single one of them. And so I don't like giving up on people because I think they could improve. And so it's kind of tongue in cheek, but people know that I rather torture them into greatness.
That was the phrase that I was hoping to uncover, yeah.
All right, that's not something you hear every day. I'd rather torture them into greatness, okay? I think that's one, as a football coach, could get you in some trouble. But when you're in your own world as a CEO, as he is, he can say pretty much whatever he wants. But let's listen some more. But his point is that he believes in that suffering and that struggle and all those things like that to bring out your very best. It's not for everybody. But I want to tell you, if you want to achieve greatness, you want to achieve something other people don't achieve, you're going to have to do hard things. Simple. Okay?
Yeah,
let's check it out.
I remember you mentioned that.
Yeah, so I rather torture you into greatness because I believe in you. And I think I rather torture you into greatness because I believe in you. And I think coaches that really believe in their team torture them into greatness. And oftentimes they're so close. Don't give up. Their jobs. Look, I used to clean.
Okay, so obviously you got to be very careful about the words you use, okay? But, what he's meaning, and I think we all get that here. We all know what we all know what he's saying. Well, hey, Jasmine, I see you said I want him to be my boss. Maybe after you heard he doesn't fire people so much. But after you heard that, torture into greatness. He'll torture you into greatness. That's pretty awesome, right? But, again, he doesn't give up on people. And he knows you have to go through very hard things and struggle mightily to bring out your very best. It's not easy. How do we discover what we're really made of? Right? I believe it, Jasmine. I believe it. Yeah, that's right, Lady Ann. To go beyond what you think you can do. All the way. So, again, I bring these people to you, okay? These different leaders, because I want you to know that, they're human beings just like you. And a lot of the times you see the common thread is outwork, outlast, right? High degree of endurance, high degree of tolerance for pain and suffering, high degree of resilience, bouncing back, okay? All these things like that. And always bouncing back. Learning more, doing more, putting in more work, more effort. Now, I love this idea, though, that Jensen brought about, that we learned tonight, about doing your most important work first thing in the morning. Okay? This is a tactic. This right here, this is like $1,000 coaching session right here. Okay? You could take that away. You could change your life right now just by following that. If you pick the most important work you have to do, and you go ahead and do that first thing in the morning, like Jensen Huang's saying, okay, and you learned it here, it will change your life. I guarantee you. I guarantee it. Okay? You start working out every day first thing in the morning. You wake up earlier, go to bed earlier. You see everything's changing now. The whole thing's changing just by the dedication to doing your most important work first thing in the morning. Because guess what? If you don't dedicate yourself to doing the most important work first thing in the morning, then you could drink the night before, or you could, stay up late watching TV, sleep in, miss the deadline, rush to your actual job, miss your actual deadline, not work out, eat wrong, not prepare your food. You see what I'm saying? Everything goes to entropy. Entropy is chaos in mathematics, right? In science. Chaos theory. Everything will go to chaos, to entropy, unless brought in by a greater force. Okay? Your greater force is your discipline. Your greater force is your plan, are your goals. You choosing to direct your thoughts and direct your energy and build your habits. Okay? That's how we fight the chaos, just drifting apart. Everything's going to drift apart unless we stuff it back in there and freaking mold it, okay? You got to stuff it freaking back in and mold it, okay? Just like that, all right? Super important. Yep, that's right. That's exactly it, Steve. That's 100%. That is why we remember drill sergeants' names. Oh, yeah. Right, exactly. Yep. Lisa, I hear you there. That's it, Lady Ann. Second law of thermodynamics. Exactly. So I wish more people could get the torture to greatness mentality as well, too. Now, you got to listen to your body, and you got to listen to your mental health and all that stuff, too, right? You know, don't overdo it. You got to make sure you're sleeping. I'll tell you, though, if you're sleeping, a lot of times your mental health is taken care of and your emotional health is taken care of, too. Make sure you protect your sleep, okay? That's a big thing. But again, dedicate yourself to what I talked about. Getting the most important things done in the first part of your day as early as you can in the day. You'll own your day. And if you get your workouts done first thing in the morning, you'll own your day. It was already a victory. Okay? It's a great feeling. All right, let's keep going. Got a little more here. I know this is a big one tonight on him. I'm going to talk about a couple more things, and then we're going to drive on. Put any questions you guys have about this in the chat. I will get to them. All right. So, the new risks he's taking on right now, what makes him a ferocious leader, he's a $5 trillion company that operates like it's still a startup. Okay? He's a $5 trillion company that operates like it's still a startup in 30 days from going out of business. These are his own words. Okay? We're a $5 trillion company that we operate like we're still a startup about to go out of business within 30 days. These are his own words. That's what makes them still ferocious and still great. Okay? The risk he's taking on today is staggering. Here's why. He has customers that are now competitors. His biggest customers, I should say, were Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, and are now his biggest competitors. They're all furiously and quickly and rapidly designing their own AI chips to break their dependency on NVIDIA. Okay? Geopolitics, the U.S.-China chip war is a massive threat. We talked about that a little bit earlier. The U.S. government has banned him from selling his most advanced chips to China. Okay? Rightfully so. And that's a market where his share plummeted from 95% to zero. So even with all that, he's still at $5 trillion. Okay, still on top. So his entire empire is built on staying one generation ahead of everyone else. The pressure for him is permanent. Okay? So why do I bring that up? The pressure being permanent. I bring it up because of this. Too many times I hear people say things like this. Well, easy for him to say he's a billionaire. Well, easy for them to say they're millionaires. Well, easy for them to say, he's this and that and the other thing. Or she already has all these gifts and all this money already. Therefore, it's just easy for them to say. His pressure is never going away. His company can be wiped out tomorrow if they don't stay ahead of the curve. Okay? So that's the price of greatness, like he's saying, is pain and suffering and struggle, all those things like that. But I got news for you. When you get used to the pain, you get used to the suffering, you get used to the fear. I know this personally, okay? Not just from a textbook, not just from reading it. When you can get stress inoculated and you get used to things. You've all experienced it. You know what I'm talking about. But you get used to dealing with stress and fear and pain. You get used to the pressure. And then it becomes normal, okay? And you're normalized. You're getting used to the pressure and you can perform even better. And once you've solved one problem, you move on to the next bigger problem. Okay? When you climb to the top of one mountain, that's just the bottom of the next one. You look up and see there's another peak. The next mountain's right near you, and you're going to go for it and climb up that one. All right. So number one, I'm going to talk really quickly, and then we're going to close this out about the Huang method. Okay, Jensen Huang's method. You don't need to build a chip company to use his playbook. We're going to talk about his playbook here. Number one, stop finding your passion. Start loving the problem. Work on the problem. Okay, work on solving problems. This is his most viral lesson. He doesn't believe in finding your passion. He says finding your passion is actually just a recipe for giving up. You got to fall in love. You got to love what you do, of course, okay? But really fall in love with the problem and solving the problem, okay? Fall in love with working hard, with the process like people talk about, okay? But if you associate too much passion with happiness and feeling good and ease and avoiding pain and avoiding suffering, you're dead meat. You're done, okay? Remember, he started out as a dishwasher at Denny's. He didn't love doing that, but he loved the challenge of what he was doing and trying to do it well. Pick a problem that matters. Pick a hard one. Fall in love with the process of solving it, okay? Number two, build your own personal CUDA, like this big bet he took with the software company, okay? He built this platform for a market that didn't exist yet. He built a tech stack that nobody was asking for. Okay? What is yours? What's your version of this? What skill set are you building up on the side that isn't your job description? So what are you building up on the side, your side hustle that's not in your job description? Or are you learning, as I've talked about in a lot of my videos we talked about before, the best way to become a leader and get the position is begin behaving like a leader, acting like a leader, get the skills, learn more knowledge, learn the abilities of the job, learn the capabilities, learn the responsibilities, learn what needs to be done for the job immediately over you and to the sides. Know more, do more, okay? Take on more responsibility without being asked. If you have a business, okay, you're trying to start a business, establish that side hustle on your free time, okay? What are you building up on the side? Learn AI prompting, learn to code, learn video editing, okay? Build a skill that when combined with your job makes you the only person who can do what you do. It's huge. Build your value before the market demands it. If you can build your value before the market demands it, you're an early mover, okay? Reason from first principles, not analogy. When everybody else said that we're a gaming company, okay, that's reasoning by analogy. So don't reason by like the way, okay, we're just like everybody else. They're doing it so that therefore I'm kind of like them. I'm going to do it, okay? You need to ask yourself, what are you fundamentally? What are you all about, okay? Like for him, it was, we are a company that solves the hardest computational problems, okay? That's first principles. Look at your job, look at your life, look at your business. Are you just copying what other people are doing? Do you understand what business you're actually in? Or are you asking yourself, what is the fundamental problem that I'm trying to solve? Okay, and what is the absolute best way to solve it? Cut to the chase, jump over the moats, jump over the obstacles, and see what's the best way to solve it, okay? Even if it looks crazy. Number 4, make failure a public learning tool. Like we talked about, open, transparent communication. Jensen's leadership style is famously unconventional, okay? With his 60 direct reports. No one-on-one meetings. He makes sure that all information and knowledge is shared, okay? He wants everyone to learn from everyone else's mistakes. So how can you make sure you're transparent with your team with everything that is going on, okay? And what do you know? Who have you told? Who else needs to know? So that you make sure that your team doesn't make the same mistake again. Absolutely crucial. Okay, so the question is for you, what insane bet are you willing to make on yourself? What are you making on yourself right now? What's the insane bet you're making right now? What's the one thing you're building today that the world will understand only 10 years from now? Okay, maybe it's your side hustle, like I said, but ask yourself that, throw it in the chat, and let's talk about it, all right? Okay, cool. We are moving on. Moving on here. Next, I'm going to hit the chat really fast, see if we got anything in there. Yeah, Steve, for sure. After retirement, it's easy to become complacent. It's something you're struggling with. Well, I'll tell you what. A big thing is this, guys. A lot of times when I work with people too, sometimes I'll work with people who have achieved, a certain amount of success. And this is a kind of a dangerous time because you can get really complacent and you can lose a lot of the things that you've built up, a lot of the habits you built up. So you got to immediately get some new goals. You got to immediately get a new vision, okay? New vision, new goals. And really, start establishing the habits that are going to take you there. Take a look at what are the goals you have, what are the requirements to do it, backward plan it. Okay, again, first principles thinking. What exactly am I trying to do? Why am I trying to do it? What's the best way to do it? Break it down to its core component parts, then reassemble it into something more efficient and better, okay? And do it that way. So, nice. Okay, any other questions? Let me see here. Okay. All right, we're going to be moving on here. Now, time to move on to the latest news headlines. Let's see what the hell is going on in the world right now. Let's do this. Oh, we have some interesting news with Elon Musk. Maybe you guys have heard this. He's about to become a trillionaire, which is absolutely nuts. Let's check this out.
Elon Musk could become the world's first trillionaire after Tesla shareholders approve a pay package for Musk worth roughly $1 trillion.
Say it like this, $1 trillion. The package gives Musk 12 tranches of stock in a 10-year period tied to performance targets that could eventually hand Musk around 25% stock ownership in Tesla. Joining us now to break this all down is Kurt, the cyber guy. Kurt, so Elon Musk is worth about $500 billion right now. He could increase that by $900 billion, almost $1 trillion. So going from rich to richer, why does this matter?
Well, he's you got to keep him around. He is so tied to that brand. Good morning to you, both of you. And Todd, if you would just give her a birthday hug for me, if you would. Carly, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Elon Musk having quite a celebration after this pay package has been approved by the board. And man, he might be the very first trillionaire. Now he's got to, got some hurdles to get through. He's got to really do.
All right, so pretty crazy stuff, right? We have the world's first trillionaire about to occur. I mean, he won't be officially a trillionaire for another, for a few more years, okay? But put it in the chat. What do you guys think about that? He's while we have so many people going through so many things, Elon Musk is about to become a trillionaire. Again, just something to be aware of. Interesting news, but I guess if you invent that type of company, does he deserve it? Looks like he does, right? I got no problem with it. Pretty incredible. All right, moving on here. Let's check out what's next. Let's see here. Oh, okay, from last week, you guys brought up about Nigeria. And so I did a little research. I dug this up. Let's see what's going on with this possible Nigeria deployment.
Tonight in our deep dive, President Trump setting his sights on Nigeria. In multiple social media posts, Trump accused Nigeria's government of allowing the killing of Christians and said the U.S. may, quote, go into the West African country and, quote, wipe out Islamic terrorists he says are responsible for horrible atrocities. He says that he's instructed the Pentagon to prepare for possible action. Meantime, Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says religious freedom and tolerance are core tenets of Nigeria's collective identity and will remain so. He also said his administration is committed to working with the U.S. government to protect communities of all faiths. For more on this, I'm joined by Atlantic staff writer Graham Wood, who has reported extensively in Nigeria. Graham, thank you so much for joining me here today. Now, Nigeria is nearly evenly split between Christians and Muslims. Is there any credibility to President Trump's claim that Christianity faces an existential threat there?
No, that would be news to the 100 million plus Christians who are living full and happy lives in Nigeria. But it is true that Boko Haram and other Islamist groups have created a hellish atmosphere for Christians and for Muslims who are under their territory. So the idea that Christians are persecuted, not false, but a lot of other people are too. The Boko Haram's a group that's part of the Islamic State, and if you remember from when the Islamic State was a going concern in Syria a couple of years ago.
Okay, so we heard a little bit there about what's going on in Nigeria. I remember you guys asked me about it last week if I heard anything about it. I had not, so did a little research and found this out. And so again, put it in the chat if you've learned something more. But again, the big thing is that he's saying there are 100 million. And that's what I heard, 100 million Christians in the region, okay? And that Boko Haram, definitely bad guys, okay? Terrorist organization, really bad. But they are killing Christians and Muslims, anybody that opposes them, basically, as they've been doing for a while. So, yeah, it's been going on for a long time. I can remember, when I was a battalion commander and in MARSOC, we would talk about these things as well, too. Boko Haram had been, has been a concern for a long time. And we have sent people out there before. We've had, special operations missions out there, things like that. So we shall see. But a good thing to hear that the government of Nigeria is, stated policy willing and able to work with the U.S. government to make sure the all different communities are safeguarded and all that stuff. So that's a good thing. All right, let's check out what we have in the chat here. I see a few things. Yeah, okay, Nick, I see that. He's got to meet some pretty ambitious targets in terms of company and stock performance. So if he hits that, then sure, okay, pay them. But it's not a guaranteed thing. Yeah, I was going to say, he has to really, they're incentivizing the hell out of him, I'm sure, for that. So big deal there. Let's see. No, your quarter jar is not that impressive anymore, Becky, for sure. Steve. Ooh, okay. Yeah, with the quarters. Very good. Okay, let's drive on. We'll see this next one here. Let's see the next story we have here. Okay. Connected to the government shutdown. Flights being canceled. Different issues. Government shutdown still going on. All of you out there that are affected by that, hang in there. Stay strong. Hopefully they reach a solution soon. I don't know why they haven't yet, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Everybody here is very worried that we're going to see more delays, more stresses on the people who are actually making the aviation system run, and more problems for both the consumers but also the great workers who actually make this incredible shining jewel of the American economy actually work and work on time and work safely.
As this shutdown continues, you're going to see more pressure on controllers, more pressure on TSA workers, and that's going to have real impact.
That's Vice President J.D. Vance and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy out after a roundtable with the airline industry. We have already seen major ground delays at Orlando, Newark, and Reagan National airports this week as the historic shutdown fuels staffing issues. People are calling in sick. The CEOs of United, Delta, American, and Southwest Airlines are all calling on Congress to approve the Republican-backed clean funding bill to reopen this government. Joining me now is the president and CEO of Airlines for America and former New Hampshire governor, Chris Sununu. Governor, good to see you. Thanks for being here. You were at the roundtable this week with the vice president and transportation secretary, warning of holiday travel disasters if this continues. How do you see things?
Well, look, I want to address that roundtable because it was really interesting. The vice president first was asking all the right questions, right? He was asking about.
All right. So. Again, we got a lot of stuff going on right now. They have got to figure this out. We've got to get past this. We got to figure out what is going on with, getting the government reopened again. But it's about to hit us in holiday travel. And again, like I always say, we're trying to know what our operating context is, what's going on out there, what are some of the most important stories. Obviously, there are even more important stories. You guys are, watching the news. But some of the big ones that are affecting us day to day, affecting the economy. Obviously, the government shutdown is going to hit us in our GDP. It's going to affect us in our economy. I know prices are not that great right now. Businesses have been shrinking a bit because the economy is contracting. And so with the effect of air travel as well, too, possibly hitting Thanksgiving, that could cause a lot of problems. So, again, I think that the biggest thing is right now is managing your stress levels, really managing your expenses, taking care of yourselves. And again, the most important thing you have is your health. You're focusing on yourself, focusing on your current job, your career. If you're out there in the government workforce and you are furloughed right now and you're not working, well, stay strong, okay? I'm sure this will all come to an end soon. I hope it does. I pray it does for all of you. But again, the most important thing is understanding what is our operating context right now? What is the operating environment? What can we do about it? And again, looking at if it's something you can control, focus on it. If you can't control it, focus on the controllables. Look at what you can control, okay, right now, and take care of that. And again, like I always say, your health, your energy, your wellness, your family, your relationships, your mindset. Your mindset is crucial. Your attitude, okay? Your nutrition, the things you're drinking, things you're eating, your sleep, all things like that. Stay strong, find a solution, and figure it out. And again, I will say, in hard times is when empires are built, okay? People have built great fortunes and great empires, and they've gained market share. They've gained real popularity, having people know their names when it's been hard times, and they've served and they've done things for others, okay? And they've built up their brand during hard times. So as you see all this stuff happening with the airlines, you see it with the government, the economy, grocery prices, so on and so forth. This is the time as well to really focus on what you can control, to try to boost yourself, serve others, get ahead, find a need and fill it, right? Problem solving, all those things like that. Okay, it'll make a big difference for you. So those are the major headlines that I saw. The Elon Musk one is a doozy for sure. $1 trillion. I can't believe we're going to have that. But again, the government shutdown is the thing that continuing on and on, affecting so many people right now, and I hope that is going to come to a close soon. So, all right, it is insane. Yep, it is insane. I totally agree. Totally agree. So, it is time. We're going to hear a little word from our sponsors. Again, we have a fantastic sponsor, as we always do every week, and that is the one, the only Ben Pappas Company. And today, I want to talk to you guys about if you are looking to level up as a leader, if you're looking to improve your own leadership, your decision-making, okay, your confidence, you're looking to build your team's leadership skills and abilities. Again, studies have shown that there's a 30% improvement on the bottom line, okay? That's the ROI, 30% improvement on the bottom line, and through investing in your frontline leadership, okay? By improving frontline leadership. So, whether it's for yourself or it's for your team, whatever it may be, okay, I've got you. Contact me, write me, ben@benpappas.com, my email. You can book a no-fee strategy and discovery session with me through my link that's in my YouTube bio, okay? There's a link there. Just apply for a no-fee discovery and strategy session with me, and we can discuss your situation, and I can help you out with that. I've worked with a lot of people over the past 7 years full-time in business, being executive coach and strategist, and then been a commissioned officer in the United States Marine Corps for 23 years, where I was lead teaching, motivating, counseling, teaching operational level leadership, strategy, execution, all those things like that, okay? And I can definitely make sure get you to the next level and the level you want to be at, make a breakthrough this year and in 2026. So reach out to me. If you want to try and work with me, hit me up at ben@benpappas.com. Just send me an email. Give me your situation, and we will talk about it. You can also DM me at Instagram. You can also just put a comment in this YouTube video as well too, with your contact info, and I'll get back to you as well. But again, DM me on Instagram or email me at ben@benpappas.com. Again, ben@benpappas.com, and I'll get right back to you, and we'll form a plan on how to figure out what your situation is and find a great strategy going forward. And again, you can also apply for a no-fee discovery and strategy session with me. It's a really simple application process, not that hard. A few questions, and we will line up that call, one-on-one discussion, and figure out what the best strategy is for you and for your team. Or it could just be you, one-on-one coaching, personal coaching, which I offer as well too. And as always, I have my Ferocious Optimist coaching membership and community that is open to join as well. It's $87.99 per month. Fantastic. We do a live group coaching session once per month, and you have unlimited replays of that. If you can't make it to the session, you can replay it as many times as you want. I do Q&A for about an hour afterwards as well too with everybody, and it's live, so we see each other on video. We're also, talking to each other, all those things. It's fantastic. And then there's the community as well too, where we have Q&A on a daily basis, and you can also DM me, and I'll coach you through the DMs too. So check that out. Link is in the bio. My community, coaching membership and community, the Ferocious Optimist community. Absolutely awesome. If you don't have a community that's a supportive group of people helping you to level up, then I've got one for you. Check that out. You will not be disappointed. Again, it's virtually risk-free because you can join $87.99 per month. There's no obligation to stay. Stay for a month, see if it works for you. If not, you can leave. I think you're going to like it though. I really do. And if not, you're not obligated to stay. You can quit and cancel anytime. All right, that is what's going on. Word from our sponsor, and we are driving in. We're driving in for the kill right now. You all know what time it is. It is time for the leadership lessons of South Park. Woo! We're going to get this going right now. I got some good ones today, I do believe. I don't know if they're as good as last week's, but I think they're pretty damn good. Let's check this out. Drum roll, please. Everyone out there in the audience right now, drum roll on your desks. Drum roll. And here we go. Oh, Lord have mercy. I can't even... I don't even know. I don't even remember putting this in here. I don't even remember putting this in here. Who put this in here? Someone else put this in here. It wasn't me. Call your friends. It's about to get interesting. All right, let's see. Let's see what the hell is going on right here. I don't even know what this is, but we're going to find out. What have I done?
They're all just a bunch of libtards anyways. I know what's up. I listen to podcasts. You want to know who I think the Antichrist is? Greta Thunberg, with her stupid haircut and her dumb bangs. Someone should yank out whatever's up her ass.
Oh, my God.
I can't. I just can't.
I'm dying right now. Oh my God, I'm freaking dying. Cheesecake Factory.
Everything all right, bud? No, everything's not all right. I don't know what I'm doing here. You're trying to get with the program, bro. Peggy Rockbottom is a hot Christian girl. Now stop acting gay. Look, I don't know what you think Christianity is, but it has nothing to do with that. What are you saying? I'm saying that you and a lot of other people seem to have a very warped sense of what Christianity is. Are you questioning my faith? You want to fucking go? No, I don't want to fucking go. You got a problem, bro? No, I don't have a problem. You actually have a problem. You need a way to bully people, and you're using the Bible to do it. You like that? Yeah. You want some more? I'm not gonna fight you. Damn right you won't, because you're a gay little pussy.
What the frick? I'm sorry.
Come back. You're gonna get some more, bitch. You know they're all just a bunch of libtards anyway.
Oh my God. Who's seen this one before? I'm dying. Put in the chat if you've seen this one before. I can't even take it. Oh my God. That's the North Jersey Housewives. What is that? What was that? What the hell was it? I don't even know. Who are they supposed to be spoofing there? Who are they imitating? Who's the satire? Put it in the exactly. Put it in the chat if you know who that's supposed to be, because I have no clue who that is. That's honestly, I just stumbled onto that one and threw it in the hopper for everyone to see. So put in the chat if you know who they're supposed to be spoofing, because I have no clue. Oh my God, me. Right, exactly, Jasmine. Oh my God, I don't know, Nick. That might be one of the North Jersey Housewives. I don't know what that was all about, but I saw that and I couldn't. Good Christian women, I couldn't resist. So, yeah, I mean, so what are the leadership lessons here? Well, a couple things, right? I want to say that, you got to choose your friends wisely, okay? You got to choose who you hang around wisely. So, as I talked about before, where there's smoke, there's fire, okay? Where there's smoke, there's fire. And if you got a bad feeling going into it, like you're not going to really enjoy this time with these certain people, you probably got to pay attention to what you're feeling about the situation, okay? And then, yeah, there's a lot of that stuff today. There's a lot of that where, Jesus was there talking to PC Principal. I can't even believe I'm saying this. I can't even believe I'm saying this with a straight face. Jesus was talking to PC Principal, okay? But yeah, he's talking to him and he's like, a lot of you are, hijacking the religion or whatever you said. It's not Christianity. It's not even what it's about. And that's not even about that out there or whatever it was, okay? But there are a lot of people that do that, okay? And I want to tell you right now, if you're a leader or you're trying to be a leader, your smart followers will see through your BS, okay? And you can fool them for a little while. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time, right? Bob Marley. So that's the point, is that people will see through it. And usually when they get seen through, they get mad, kind of like PC Principal, starting to freak out, wanting to fight and all this stuff like that, okay? So, yeah, I'm with you, Mark. I got Cheesecake Factory right on the corner from me. I'm craving it too. So, but I mean, that's also something too. So, authenticity, being genuine, making sure that you aren't trying to, like we would say in the Marine Corps, working your bolt, you're faking the funk, all those things like that. You're just paying lip service. You're using this veneer of whatever it may be. It might be religion, but you're really doing bad, mean stuff behind it. Or let's say, you're using company policy, in order to shield you from, people finding out what your true intentions are, your true motives, okay? Or bullying people, judging people harshly, not being fair, being merit-based, and using some type of policy or some type of, veneer in order to ramrod in your own intentions, which aren't always good. They're not for everybody else. They're selfish. Okay? So if you're like that, if you're like that, then you're going to find out. Okay? People are going to find out, and you're going to find out because they're not going to follow you anymore, and they're going to talk about you, and it's going to be really hard to get anything done as a leader. Okay? So you can see Jesus is leaving the team right there. He's leaving PC Principal's team. 100%. Yep, that's right. That's right, Steve. As Washington said, it's far better to be alone than in bad company. Pick your friends carefully. 100%. Resist, Ben. I can't resist. No, you're right, Lisa. I can't go. You're right. I can't go, but I want to. Make no mistake, I want to. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Jasmine, that's a great comment. Yep, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that. I think so too. Same type of thing, right? You know, we say in the name of making you better and do this and that. Really, it's about mind control, manipulation, taking your money from you. A lot of bad stuff, okay? So there's a lot of that stuff going on. And it's probably always has been going on. But just be mindful, be careful. And please, if you're watching this channel, please, if you're a follower of mine and you get something out of this content you're watching, don't be part of the problem, right? You know, be authentic, be genuine. And I'm just telling you as a leader, I know it, because you may keep them under your little spell for a little while, but as soon as that situation changes, people will remember and they will talk about you. And in today's day and age, they will destroy your reputation. Say, that guy was full of shit. That girl was full of crap, okay? They were liars. They were doing this, that, the other thing. Look at how many things are in the press about, these leaders, whether they're politicians or whatever they are. They're saying, do as I do, not do as I say, not as I do, okay? Set the example. And then make sure you check your intentions. Your intentions matter. They can smell your intentions. Like PC Principal's intentions. I don't know. He's a little cuckoo, right? PC Principal. But check your intentions. All right. Yeah, that's right. Cults. All right. Enough said on that one. Let's get to the next one. Drum roll, please. Audience, drum roll. I'm doing it for you. Next one. Let's see. Oh. I don't know. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know what this one. I honestly forgot what it is. That tells you what's going on. I've got too many hits to the head here. I forgot already what it is. Okay, we're going big. Let's check it out.
All right, everyone, listen up. As you know, there's a lot being done in the country to bring Christian values back to our schools. Our new school counselor has some concerns that I understand.
Okay, just a quick aside. I'm not picking on Christianity. I'm a Christian. I'm not picking on any of this stuff. It's just the luck of the draw today, right? Because, I'm scrolling around trying to find the videos. I got PC Principal. He is one of my favorite characters. And anyway, this isn't some kind of extra message. I think you guys know me by now. We're just having fun right now. And actually trying to learn some leadership lessons, because these guys do a lot of satire. There's some hidden messages and lessons behind everything they're doing. So let's check it out.
I'd like to voice. Go ahead, Jesus. Well, I'm
rewind it again.
There are some concerns that I understand you'd like to voice. Go ahead.
Here we go.
All right, everyone, listen up. As you know, there's a lot being done in the country to bring Christian values back to our schools. Our new school counselor has some concerns that I understand he'd like to voice. Go ahead, Jesus.
Well, I'm just a bit confused about the dramatic rise in fistfighting over these labubus.
And I don't mean to be disrespectful by having Jesus on here twice. In fact, it's the opposite. Okay? Let's go.
Yeah, the labobos.
Kids go nuts for him.
I just don't quite understand what the fascination is.
Well, they're just the new fad of the month,
They make them scarce and hard to find a secret one.
Yeah, and then all the kids make their labubu TikToks.
Labubu TikTok?
Yeah, the kids make them and they watch them. I can pull one up. This is Kelly Bronson from Mrs. Turner's class.
Hey guys, this is another Labubu unboxing video. I got this Labubu online. I'm pretty sure it's not a Lafufu. I got the QR code right here. We're gonna see what we got. Hope it's a rare one. If it is, I'm absolutely gonna freak out. Okay, let's see. Oh my god! Okay, let's start the ritual.
Oh no, not this again. What? Oh my god. This is... Labubus again! Labubu again! See? Spawn of Satan Labubu.
What the hell was that?
That's a Labubu unboxing TikTok.
Kids go nuts for him.
But that's like some dark satanic ritual. Oh, yeah, labubus are demonic.
Yeah, dark magic.
I don't know if they come that way from China or their kids are infusing them with some Sumerian dark entity.
It's Mesopotamian.
Got it. So what are your major concerns, Jesus?
Bro, that's not normal. These kids are in trouble. Yeah, that's why every school needs a counselor.
All right. Again, I don't know where the hell this one came from. I just kind of stumble into them and put them in here. But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. when you have a frog, okay, like they say, boiling a frog in water, you put it in the water and you slowly turn the water up, right? It doesn't know it's boiling to death because the water's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. When you normalize weird crap and you normalize weird, crazy behavior, okay, which is what they're talking about there, and they're doing it in a really funny way. Like, the whole thing is metaphor, right? The whole thing is metaphor. I should become maybe I become like a South Park professor. One of you universities out there, hire me as a South Park professor. I'll teach classes about all this, okay? And you can pay me a lot of money, and not a problem. Let's do it. Okay, anyway. So the hidden meaning here, to me, what I think is that, Jesus is the outsider. He comes in. It's another metaphor. Jesus is the outsider, the counselor. He comes in. What does he encounter? He sees there's all this crazy stuff going on. And all the teachers are very, very just, they're so numb to it. It's become normal. They're like, yep, they love him. Yep. Oh, they're demonic for sure. No, is it this type of demon? No, Mesopotamian. He's like, these kids are in trouble. Like, what? So they're all like frogs in the water getting boiled and boiled. The heat is so high, they don't know it, but Jesus is touching the water for the first time and he sees it. He's like, you guys are boiling in the water. The kids are boiling. No one knows it. Everything's gotten so weird. And now you personally at home watching this, okay, you can attach whatever weird thing is going on at school, okay? And without me having to give voice to it, it could be any number of things, whether it's drugs, okay, social issues, you name it, okay? And so what he's saying is like we've gotten so far off track from what right looks like that you guys are just like, oh, they make a TikTok, Labubu TikTok. And that's like, he's like, that's some demonic, crazy crap. Okay, it's demonic, crazy crap. And you guys are all acting like it's okay. That's it, lady. And that's the whole point. Lessons South Park with Ben. And they can, for a small fee, they can pay me $500,000 a year and I'll teach it at their university. So, I mean, but that's it, right? And so again, leadership lesson. Check this out, all right? Totally makes sense. All my Marines out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anybody else, from any type of leadership background, will know what I'm talking about. All of you will know what I'm talking about instantly. You arrive to a new unit. You arrive at a new place. And it's the equivalent of Jesus walking into that meeting, right? You're the new guy or new girl. You walk in, and they're all like talking. You're like, yeah, it's normal. They do this, and this happens, and then that happens. And you're like, what? Where is that ever normal? Where is that ever okay? How is that a best practice? Is it legal? Is it moral? Is it ethical? What the hell's going on right now? Who has seen that? Put it in the chat. If you're watching the replay later, put it in the comment. Tell me about it. I want to hear about it, okay? Hey, and while we're on it, if you haven't liked this video yet, please like, subscribe, comment, okay, guys? Add a comment after I upload the video. It helps the algorithm. You guys subscribing when you're watching, please, it helps out the channel. I'm going to be doing interviews here really soon, adding those to the channel. It'll help me to get, bigger and bigger people to the show and help us to get some more and more exposure as well, too. So please like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And I will say, you've all seen that before, though, okay? Put in the chat if you've seen this, where you show up, you're new, and there's some crazy practice they're doing, okay? I'm telling you, like I saw that and I thought, this is like going to a bad unit in the Marine Corps or in the Army or wherever, and you're used to doing things right. You came from the good unit, and you're like, what is going on here? Yeah, it's just the way we do it. Yeah, it's not a big deal. No, you let them take ammo home, for example. Like nobody lets them do it, but people steal ammunition, stuff like that. You can't do that. Yeah, they're gonna take their NVGs home, and why not? They'll take their rifle home and clean it at home. What? This is like way out of left field. Nobody's doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like when things have become so screwy, but everyone's so used to breaking the rules, and they're used to the screwiness, and they've all accepted it, okay, that they look at you like you're weird when you know you have the right answer, okay? That's the lesson to take away from this. That's a great depiction of what they have, but, it took Jesus seeing it and saying, bro, this is demonic. These kids need help. This is we're really off track. And everyone else is like, yeah, okay. They just get worn down, okay? Leaders get worn down by pressure, by outside pressure, by slowly slipping away and letting bull crap happen all the time. It's an erosion of standards, an erosion of what's right, okay? An erosion of custom traditions, standards, courtesy, an erosion of operational excellence, operational readiness, okay? I'm speaking as a Marine right now, but you can talk about in business. It's an erosion of customer service, an erosion of client delivery. It's, where everybody's working from remote. They're not coming in the office. Or if they're working in remote, they're not doing their jobs, right? So all these different things. It's the same thing as snapshot in that meeting, all right? That's what it reminds me of. There you have it. And I really mean it. Leadership lessons of South Park, okay? Yeah, that's it. Exactly, Lisa. Stuff that should be done and isn't. That's right. Exactly. Okay? Yes, please, and share too, Lady Ann. That's right. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'm gonna put as always the little segments, little chapters. You can share little bites. Okay, little 2-minute segment here, 3 minutes. You can share it like that. Especially in the South Park or any of the big parts of Jensen Huang's part. All of it will have chapters, so you can share your favorite tidbit. Helps the channel, and I appreciate it. And then also you can spread the love, spread the wealth. All right, so I really do mean it when I say we're getting leadership lessons of South Park. I really mean it. Let's see, what do you have there? I'll tell you what toy was demonic. Furbies for sure. Yeah, right? Crazy stuff, the old Furbies. What's going on there? Again, I'm telling you, Pokemon, always concerning. Concerning stuff, Let's see. All right, we're moving on, everybody. Put in the chat any questions you have. Found some good other videos. I don't know if they're as good as last time, but we're going to see. I think they're pretty good. This one actually made me crack up. I watched a little bit of it, but I will be reacting with you to the rest of it. All right. Here we go. Oh, this guy got destroyed. And it's... Oh, my God. What's so crazy is the little kids laughing like that. That dad is jacked up. Let's watch the replay on that. That dad is destroyed. Let's watch this. Look at him. This is spinal column injury, separated shoulder. The kid's laughing. Dad's done. Dad's tore up from the floor up, man. I don't know if he's drunk or what, but he is cooked. Put in the chat if you think he's cooked. What are the odds? Give me the over-under on that. Is he done or is he still good? Oh my God, her shins are broken. Oh. Oh my God, that guy's done. Oh, did you see that? Oh my gosh, he probably broke every bone in his ribs. Nuts. Oh, this is so stupid. So stupid. Oh, he smashed his shins. He's done. Oh, little kids can take anything though. Ooh. Okay, who's ever had that? Water skiing. Anybody ever had that happen to him? Water skiing? Just getting absolutely cooked. Oh yeah, shins on the pool edge. Oh yeah, shins on the pool edge is bad juju right there. Yeah, I think he was drinking, Steve, I think he was drinking Mad Dog 2020. 100%. He's cooked. That guy's broken. He's broken right now, right? It looks all funny, but he's like, your body just doesn't move right after 40, after, at whatever age he was, you're cooked. So, these montages bring me back to my high school glory days, giving kids laptops in class too. Yep. Right, exactly. Exactly. All right, let's watch this next one. I can't remember what this one is either. That tells you I got a lot going on, right? I don't even remember what the hell the video is. Okay, let's do it. Let's see what we got. I think this one's a good one. Yeah, obviously I wouldn't have put it in here if it's not good, but let me see. Let's see. Here we go.
Everyone involved wishes there was a rewind button. This British reporter took having a bad day at work to an entirely new level when he attempted to eat the spiciest chicken wings on live television.
Oh, he's done.
And then in one of the most foul moves, he went to a random table and stole someone's drink.
Oh, give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
The guy's like, no.
I'm going home.
If you're gonna,
who's ever had such spicy chicken wings that like you can't even? You try to have ice cube, it doesn't work. You try to have soda, it doesn't work. I think beer probably is the only thing that would work. I remember one time, one guy running around when I was in high school, him just crying. He was like, ah, ah. He had these suicide wings in Buffalo, New York. Can you imagine how hot the suicide wings are in Buffalo, New York? I'm telling you, doesn't get any friggin' hotter than that. These things had like seeds on them. They made 3 of them. We were all high school football players, and he was cooked. He was a big linebacker, and he was breathing fire. He was cooked, man. It was so bad. Did you? Well, tell me about what the flashback was. Let's hear it. Did you finally get up on the skis? You got dragged like that, Steve? You actually dragged by the boat? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Yeah, there's a certain level of spice. It's not even spicy anymore. Yeah, it just hurts. And your gums get all swollen, all the meat kind of around your teeth and everything, your gums, it's all swollen. You can't even eat. It's terrible. Terrible, terrible. Oh my gosh. You love that? Natural painkiller. What? Your tongue's going to fall off. Your teeth are going to fall off, Lady Ann. Holy crap. All right, let's keep on going here.
Gonna steal a drink, at least finish it. Mixing up Dish and Rick on live TV is a bold way to close a segment.
Delicious looking dick from... sorry about that. Delicious looking...
Okay, you have to respect her tenacity.
Wait, I gotta
as a
respond to that.
journalist. On live TV is a bold way to close a segment.
Delicious looking dick from... sorry about that. Delicious looking...
Okay, you have to respect her tenacity as a journalist.
We tried to reach out to the man who died in this pursuit. They were unavailable for comment. Micah, back to you.
And she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know that was like stupid, right? She's saying we tried to reach out to the man who died in pursuit, but he was unavailable for comment. That's hilarious. That's when you're so nervous about what you're doing. You're so bore-sighted in on. You're so hyper-focused on just getting the job right. And it also shows inexperience too, right? Because the pressure makes you just say and do kooky things. That, my friends, is the fog and friction of battle right there. All right, let's get past this little ad.
You yourself a flu vaccine?
Why it's doing this, I don't know.
Your house?
But
how?
Okay, now let's get to
Well, you do miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you're a TV anchor, having a crush on the weather girl is one thing. Asking her out live on the air is another.
This is nuts.
Tony, the good news is nice and sunny for the weekend.
You should come round for a barbie.
No, thanks.
Shutdown. Yeah, that's all our news from now.
And once this clip went viral, the whole situation somehow managed to get even more awkward.
Yeah, I'll miss you all too. Wish me luck, I'm going to need it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the Carlton supporters are very excited.
Well, they should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good luck, Nick.
Ooh.
What the hell?
This is going well.
Honestly, whether Tony was leaning into
This is in Australia, right? I mean, over here, you'd be canceled, forget it, lose their jobs, they'd never return again. Absolutely nuts. And you added too much ghost pepper? Oh, my God. Oh, he had 20 minutes with the spins. That's nuts. That's crazy. Holy crap. All right, let's keep going.
The whole rejection thing or not, it was just very uncomfortable to watch. Okay, to this day, I have no idea what possessed this man to say this on live television.
I read today about a 10-year-old girl with Down syndrome who was taken from her mother and put in a cage. I read about did you say want to a 10-year-old with Down syndrome
what
being
I
taken
said
from
is
her
you
mother?
can make anything you want up, but the bottom line is very clear.
You?
When you
How absolutely
the border
dare you,
illegally,
sir?
The intrusive thoughts definitely won with this one.
Wait, but how about this guy, though? How about this guy with the bald head? How dare you, sir? How dare you? Absolutely dare you. With his fist. Oh, my God. I don't know which one's worse. Well, obviously, this was pretty callous to say that. Wah, wah. What's he thinking? Oh, my God. Crazy, crazy.
In other news, this might be the worst attempt at damage control in broadcast history.
All you could possibly want. I've just seen Thomas Schaffenacker preparing for it, so I'm not entirely... Every now and then there's always one mistake. That was it. Now.
No.
This sports
No, I can see this again.
Absolutely dare you, sir.
The intrusive thoughts definitely won with this one. In other news, this might be the worst attempt at damage control in broadcast history.
All you could possibly want. I've just seen Thomas Schaffernacker preparing for it, so I'm not entirely...
Oh my God, he's flipping him off.
And then there's always one mistake. That was it. Now.
This sports anchor clearly...
Oh my gosh. All right, well, we'll close it out there. That is crazy. I don't know about you guys. I love seeing all that stuff. It's so damn funny. You're moving. You live 5 hours from New York City, moving to Texas and the Missouri in the spring. Yeah, he did take his shot for sure. He got shot down, Steve. That's for sure. 100%. It's so funny. All right, guys. I hope you had a lot of fun with this one. I hope you took a lot away. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It's going to help the channel out. Great to have all of you here. Let's keep on trying to grow the channel. Give me a hand with that and spread the news. Thank you so much for spending your Friday night with me and being here for the show. It means a lot to me, and letting me do what I love, and you guys being here to watch it. Hopefully you got a lot out of the Jensen Huang profile. And as always, you can reach out, DM me on Instagram, email me at ben@benpappas.com. Again, ben@benpappas.com. And give me any feedback you have for the show or any ideas, anything like that. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, please comment after the upload so it will also be on the video after it's posted. And with that, like I always say, make yourselves better, make the world better. Have an amazing, amazing weekend, okay? And go get yours, all right? It's time to get it going and crush it. We've only got 2 months left, 6 weeks left, really, in 2025. So we got to get after it these last couple weeks. I'll answer any questions you guys have now in the Q&A, in the chat. And then we will close it out and get ready for the weekend. As always, I'll be live on Sunday night, at Sundays at 4 p.m., Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m., and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey, thanks, Mark. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Great to have you guys here. Any questions for me? Hey, thank you, Jasmine. You too. All right, guys, any questions? Let me know. If not, we will sign it off and call it here. All right, everybody. As I always say, believe in yourselves, I believe in you, and go get yours. I will see you Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and then next Friday, as always, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Have an amazing weekend. Thanks so much for being here. Talk to you all soon.